Hey there, welcome to the Deadly Analysis Podcast. Hey, so I got like a really weird story for you. In fact, this is probably the weirdest thing that has ever happened to me, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't shared it in my podcast in which we talk about horrifying things. I figure this is a horror podcast. I'll just sit back and describe to you like the most weirdest and horrifying thing that has ever happened to me. And I want to preface this story by saying that I'm a naturalist. I don't think the supernatural is real. I don't believe in ghosts or gods or anything like that. I'm pretty much just a walking fedora. Now, at the time that what I'm about to explain to you happened to me, I was a devoted Christian. And I don't think that alters the story in any way, but it's just an interesting side note. Okay, so I'm in college, right? And I'm in between classes at Cal State Long Beach. And so I decide to head over to a comic book shop to kill a couple hours. I was really into Spawn at the time. And I know, like a Christian looking at Spawn comics, it was the beginning of the end of my faith, okay? So I'm like hanging out for a bit. I look around, and as I'm leaving this comic book shop to go back to class, as I'm exiting the shop, I hear someone very distinctly say my name. They go, "Noah, hey Noah." And it was so obvious that I just sort of swung all the way around, and I see this guy looking right at me. He's maybe 10, 15 feet away, and he's looking right at me. So it wasn't a situation where someone was talking to like another Noah, right? It was this guy looking right at me. He was the only person in that direction, and he very obviously wanted my attention. So I instinctively go, "Yo, what's up?" And I kid you not, like 5-10 seconds passes, and he just doesn't say anything. He just keeps looking right at me. And the look was kind of like a studying look. Like it was a very intense and very obvious way of studying me. It was very aimed at me, and it was just to look at me and figure something out about me or something. It was just so weird. And so, 5 or 10 seconds have passed, so I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, I'm trying to kill the awkwardness at this point because this guy's looking right at me. He wanted my attention, and he's not saying anything to me. And then it hits me, okay? And I don't expect you to believe me when I say this, but this guy looked exactly like me, but maybe with like 20 or 25 years of age on him. It literally looked like me, but maybe in my late 40s or early 50s. And I know that's an incredibly subjective thing. I can't prove that to you. How do I know that was me in the future? I mean, look, I got like a Play-Doh nose. I have a certain way my face looked. Like, I know when I'm looking at me, And I can't prove it to you, but it was just this immediate, visceral gut reaction that I was talking to me. And as I stood there looking at him, at what might have been me, he just looked right through me. Like, he wouldn't divert his eyes from me. He didn't say anything. And it was this really strange, like 10-second stare down where I felt something really weird was happening. Like, there was a tingle in my spine. And I just felt like something momentous was happening that I wasn't fully understanding. And look, again, I know how weird this sounds. I know that this sounds fucking crazy. And I've spent well over a decade trying to think logically about this. Maybe it's some long-lost family member. Maybe it's some weird coincidence where someone else said Noah and I missed it and I turn around and this guy's just staring at me because he's staring at me. Like, I have thought about this through and through. So anyway, back to the story. I didn't know what to say after that. So I didn't say anything else. I just walked back to my car and he followed me. And he didn't follow me like in a super creepy, weird way. He kept his distance, but he certainly had all of his attention focused on me as I got into my car. So I got into my car and I drove off, and the way that the parking lot was, the only way I could go was right past him. So I drive right past him, and he puts his hand up just like this, as though he's waving goodbye. Like, he definitely wanted my attention, and as I drove by, he signaled goodbye to me. And I never saw him again. Do you know how weird that is, man? Like, I wish I could describe to you how unbelievably weirded out this has made me. And look, again, I'm a naturalist, and there's probably some logical explanation for this that I'm missing, but like there's this really small part of me that wonders or hopes. It's the sort of Art Bell Coast to Coast AM part of me that's like, I wonder if I time traveled, and went into the past to see myself or something. I mean, look, I'm 35 right now, right? So I'm wondering if like in a decade or so, I'm going to be a part of some government project or something, I don't know. Weird. Anyway, I know that sounds insane, but that's my story. Weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. So what about you? Let's talk about you for a minute, damn it. I know you're looking at me like I'm a weirdo here. There's gotta be, I can't be the only person out there who's had a really weird, unexplainable incident like this happen to them. So have you ever had an incident like this that you just couldn't explain? Like maybe you've tried to rationalize it, but it still kind of gnaws on you? I would love to know that kind of a story. I'd love to know if you shared something like this in your life. And Noah, if you're watching from the future, bitch, you could have at least said hi.